All right, beautiful people, it's another lovely episode of your favorite afternoon show, and that's none other than the Flip Side on independent television, reaching you live from the city of Bronze. Yep, the city where the king is truly king. I trust your day has been amazing so far, because mine has. And today we're taking a look at a very interesting topic. It's actually an extension of last week's discourse, okay? And it's something that has to do with religion and morality, part 2, okay? So, basic questions that have to do with religion. You know, like I said last week, every time the issue of religion is brought up, there are loads of controversies that are stirred up. So people begin to get in their feelings, and you risk stepping on toes and ruffling feathers, okay? Because it's a very sensitive issue. It's something that has to do with the creator. Welcome on board. My name is Harry Aigboje, and of course it's my pleasure to have you join us on this beautiful episode of the show. Like you already know, I'm never alone. I've got two amazing gentlemen in the house with me, and of course we're going to be doing justice to the discourse together. Now, seated at my far left is someone who is a public affairs analyst. He is someone who's passionate about social commentaries, okay? He goes by the name of Kingsley Ikeke. Welcome, Kingsley.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
All right, Kingsley. And of course, seated next to Kingsley is my homie, my friend, my colleague, and someone who's also very passionate about religious matters.
Yeah, you can say so.
Yes, of course. And he goes by the name of Momo Lawal.
Yeah, thank you very much, Harry. It's good to be on the program
Absolutely.
today.
It's good to have you. How's your day been?
It has been good, smooth.
Yeah, I know you told me you were rushing all the way from Ring Road.
Yeah, because I tend to want to keep my words, you know, telling you that I'll be here live today, even if I had other assignments or engagements, yeah. I had to make sure I come here. So
I like that. I think that's one quality that a lot of us need to imbibe, because, you know, keeping your word is something that's very scarce in this part of the world.
Yeah, accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it a lot in today's topic.
Yes, I hope we are able to, you know, chip that in somehow, because, you know, we can't talk about morality without talking about accountability, right?
Of course, of course.
Okay, so let's get right to the business of the day. A very interesting topic: religion and morality in the 21st century. What exactly is it about religion and morality that always gets people fired up every time it's brought up? Kingsley.
Religion. Well, I want to look at it from the point of the relationship between humanity and divinity. You know, man has come to believe that there's a supreme being somewhere. That should be revered, that should be worshipped. And somehow that belief seems to supersede every sense of reasoning. When someone is an ardent follower or an extremist, he believes that what he has come to find out is the ultimate. It doesn't really matter what you think. He believes he has gotten the revelation or whatever. So I think there's a book called Man's Search for God. You see people having different perspective about what the divine is and how to assess him. And that now brings us to what we can call religion. Actually, man's relationship with the supreme being, which most of us have not seen, but we agree and believe that he exists based on what we see around us. And that sometimes determines our behavior, our actions, and the way we relate to people. So that's religion for me. But morality for me is more like man's attempt to define what is right and wrong. Because what is right and wrong for you may not suffice for me.
So it's more of a personal thing?
It's personal to an extent. It could be cultural. It could be locational, you know, depending on where you are found.
Environmental.
Yeah, what we say in our side that is okay may not be same in your own locality. So the issue of morality is just man's own opinion of what is right
and wrong.
And what is wrong. But for me, I believe the morality actually emanated from the Garden of Eden. Prior to that time, what we had
as it relates to the Abrahamic religions now.
Prior to that time, what we had in the Adamic era was the dispensation of innocence. You know, when man was made, he had no wrong. He cannot do any wrong because he had no knowledge of what is wrong or evil, what is right. You know that God said in Genesis, I think chapter 2, was telling man, of all the trees you can partake, but there's a tree at the midst of the garden you must not eat. And it's called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So ever since man ate that fruit, every person born by man or by woman, whichever, has that knowledge, we now enter an era from an era of innocence to an era of conscience. So you now know what is right and what is wrong. And that's why as soon as they finish eating, their eyes were open and they discovered that they were naked. So you don't really need religion to know what is actually right or wrong, because by that Adamic fall, every man has the knowledge or the seed in him or her to determine what is right and what is wrong.
All right, thank you very much. I'm glad you've been able to establish a very good relationship between religion and morality, because, you know, a lot of times they seem to be intertwined, which leads me to my next question. Is morality inherently tied to religion? Can it exist independently? For example, you know, there are folks who boast high moral principles, right? They all no affiliation to any religion. They are neither Christians nor Muslims nor anything. But they believe that it's wrong to steal. They believe it is not okay to lie. They believe it is wrong to cheat one's neighbor. These are principles that they adhere to on their own. They don't belong to any religion. So do you think religion and morality are intertwined, or do you think they can exist independently?
Yeah, I think just drawing a cue from what Kingsley said, morality and religion, yes, they can exist on their own. Morality and religion can still be intertwined. In Islam, as a Muslim, you're not. There are certain things you ought to do and you ought not to do. All right. Now, you can be a non-religious person, whether you don't believe in any of this religion, and have high morals. Now, religion, or rather Islam, just help you to, you know, channel such morals that you think you may have or want to do into a specific angle. For example, you can have high morals and you don't tell lies, you don't do this, but you may have a belief that gambling is okay. Whereas some of this religion says it is not okay to gamble. So this is where it differs. So yes, whilst morality can stand on their own, you know, you can be having a high moral and everything, but then there are certain things that you may be doing that may be wrong in another person's certain religion. So I like to now say, no, it should be intertwined. So a religion is going to serve as a guide for you, or like a guideline for you to say, okay, whilst I'm doing this, I know that I shouldn't transgress more than this. So, yeah.
Okay, that's very important, because there are certain practices that are considered wrong in certain religions. But if you go to some other religions, they will tell you it's fine. For example, it is not okay for, I don't know, according to scriptures, according to New Testament Christianity, it is wrong for a man to marry more than one wife. I mean, I don't know, in some quarters. Well, in Islam, you can marry up to 4 wives, as long as you have the capacity to take care of them, right?
Yeah, of course, you can. You see, it's a trick thing. You know, whenever we have certain issues about this, I always, whenever people come to meet me, you're a Muslim, okay, now this is what I have about Islam. Why is this like this, and why is it that it's okay for us? Even the ladies, even the Muslimas, those who are also Muslims that are female, also want to, you know, it's already there in the Quran. Now, what it says is that for a man, you can marry one wife, but if you can marry more than one wife, if you have the capacity to take care of them and love them justly. But then this is where it becomes tricky. Do you think it's okay, or do you think it's possible for one to actually, you know, treat 2 people justly? What it means here, and love them the same way equally. Now it goes further to tell you that when was this revealed, or back then in the old times when we had issues where people were killed, you had people going for war and they were dying. So they left people out there, women with children, nobody to cater for them, and then you do not go close to a woman. You know, when you go close to a woman, whether it's a widow or a single woman, attractions may come in. So for you not to commit zina, what we call sin, or to commit any form of sin in terms of adultery sin, to be you know, so you have to now do what? Marry that person. That's why they not analyze that you have to take care of them justly, and you have to care for them equally. It's not saying, like, I just married this person out of pity, but I have my wife and I don't have to do all of that.
Okay, so you have to be intentional about it.
Yes, but now in the 21st century, people still do that because they have the capacity to do so. Now, I fear for that as a Muslim, that I'll be able to take care of another woman just as we're able to take care of the one woman equally. So because of that fear, I am choosing to stick to one wife. But people can do 2 wives, 3, and 4.
They haven't sinned.
Yes, so it's not in the eyes of Islam, so it's okay. But I think even in traditional religion, some traditional men also go as far as doing that too, which is what we are. Like they marry more than one wife. You see marrying 4, 5, 6 and all of that. So yeah.
Okay, now Kingsley, can religion still uphold moral standards in a society where freedom of thought is seemingly becoming the norm, right? Nowadays, it is not hard to see young people telling you that they don't believe in religion. And they'll tell you they are free thinkers. Some will even tell you they don't believe in God, atheists, that's what they call them.
Yeah.
But we know that the hallmark of religion, like you guys have established, is morality. Because the more you relate with the Supreme Being, the more you want to be like the Supreme Being. Because our, holy books tell us that the Supreme Being is blameless, he's holy, he's righteous, right? I think it cuts across all religions. Because you can't have a Supreme Being that sins. So if you have a relationship with the Supreme Being, there is a tendency for you to want to, live like him. But we'll have a generation, a growing number of persons who tell you they don't have any regard, or they don't even believe in God, they don't believe in divinity. So can religion still uphold moral standards in the midst of such persons?
I think so, yes, very possible. It was easier in our time. Probably much more easier in our parents' time.
Yeah. Why was that?
Because there was this, even in Christianity, we don't practice democracy, so to speak.
Oh, really?
It's not democracy, we call it. I don't want to go into that.
Oh, okay.
Now.
That's the first time.
Now, there must be respect for the rule of law. There must be respect for authority.
Order.
The idea of liberty is not a license for you to do whatever you like. And that is the era we are in. We are in an era where kids, for example, in Western culture, can call the law enforcement agent against their parents.
Against their parents,
for, say, child abuse. Maybe they were sharply rebuked. But you guys entrenched in the scripture that foolishness is in the heart of the child. And with the rod of correction,
stripping away,
you put him right. But we're now coming to an era where there's so much liberty, and people do whatever they think is right. It's wrong. When you have a society like that, you have chaos. But the problem we have with those who are practicing religion is that they are not living by example.
Exactly.
And that's why people can stand up and say, I don't believe in it. For instance, someone who should be a model, when you hear his own story, you might be thinking that you're an angel. Because the story you have heard about him is pathetic. You hear headline, pastor did this, headline, this one did this. People you are looking up to, to lead the younger ones. They become breakers of the law. Then you want those ones to now start thinking they want to be like that. It won't work.
True.
So the examples we are setting is bad. And it's not helping. Especially those of us at the leadership level, as religious leaders, some of us are not setting good examples. And that's why we have so many, deviations or aberrations as we see it now. You can imagine, for instance, a boy of 16 having a duplex. It doesn't add up. It has not worked before.
But we can't also ignore the fact that
no, it's possible. But under the context, what I'm saying, do you understand what I mean? Someone who has no a means of livelihood, and we are saying he has these assets, and you see parents encouraging it, and they are not interested in how the money comes. It's a problem. So we must begin to tell ourselves that really, if we follow religion the way it is actually spelled, it should be able to affect the society positively. But like I said earlier, most of us that should be promoting this are doing a very bad job. And that's why you have people telling us that I'm a free thinker, I want to do whatever I like, I don't believe in religion, I don't believe in God, because of what they are saying.
So in other words, the custodians of religion have failed in their responsibility to represent right.
I want to add this to it. We're also on the jet age. We're also on what we term the end time. He said iniquity shall abound. So the love of many shall actually wax cold. Men will now be lovers of themselves. Like I always tell people, this country is blessed. The problem of the country is not the resources, it's not even the humans, it's the leaders. It's blessed. If what we have is properly honest, we have no business suffering. It's one of the most blessed nations, let me use that grammar, in the whole of the world. It has everything. But yet, we are classified among the poorest. And we are highly religious. If there's something wrong with the way we are practicing it. That's my opinion.
So religion is not a problem.
It's the people that are practicing that.
Practice.
If you want to say people that are practicing, it's all the people, not just the leaders. You know, the Quran also says that Almighty Allah would not change the situation of a people except the people want to change themselves. So it goes to tell you that this country, like Kingsley said, is blessed. But a typical Nigerian man, like I always tell people say, okay, this person did this and this and this. I was like, don't pray to be tested in that capacity. Because Almighty Allah is going to test human beings, but He's not going to test you what you cannot handle. So when you are being tested, you should just recognize that and try to, you know, stay true to yourself. Now, saying that we don't actually practice, we should practice what we preach, you know, is a very good example for everybody, myself included. Okay, as a Muslim, you see people come to meet me once in a while, like, are you a Muslim? I'm like, yes. You see, you don't look like a Muslim. And I'll be like, is there a Muslim look? So is this stereotype, we have this stereotype thing already about how Muslims should look and all of that. So going with the talk of trying to see how we can, you know, make this better for us, as people, we should try our best to not just look at those people that we're calling leaders. They are also human beings. Human beings must fail. Rather, reflect back on the Sahabas, the prophets, or the people that lived life during the early stage of Islam. Because any human being right now, most of the people that we are right now must make mistakes. We have few people that we are not seeing their mistakes out there. So rather look onto your maker, because he is the one that is blameless, like you said. He doesn't make any mistake. He has lots of attributes he must have told you about that you should follow. Because if you look at a man, no matter how much you respect a human being, that human being is still a human being. You know, except it's being guided. Yeah, you must make a mistake as a human being. So you may lose hope, or you may just feel, you know, very disheartened when you see that person you're looking up to is doing what you're not doing. There's a popular saying that the most difficult person to convince is a convinced man. I am already convinced that what I believe is what I believe.
So there's little or nothing anybody can do to make you change your mind.
I don't believe that God exists, for example. Astaghfirullah. You say that, and it's already a notion for you. Whatever it may be saying to you, that person is as if you're just passing dust. So such humans should try to be open. But it's also in the Quran that it's not just their minds are blinded. It's not just their eyes. So some persons like that cannot really see the truth. So it just takes the grace of God to, you know, bring them back, you know, to the great path, so we can, you know, see what is right in front of us.
All right, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Just in case you're just joining us, it's Flipside on Independent Television, reaching you live from Benin City. And today we're taking a look at a part 2 of last week's discourse. And it's something that has to do with religion and morality in the 21st century. Now, gentlemen, let's take this a notch higher. What measures do you think can be taken to promote religious tolerance in the face of growing extremism? Now, extremism has become like the order of the day as far as religion is concerned. Some persons, you know, live their lives based on dogmas, and they'll tell you there is no room for negotiation as far as what they believe in is concerned. They'll tell you, I believe this and I believe that, and you cannot change their mind. If you try too hard to change their mind, you know, you probably get in trouble with them. So what do you think can be done, you know, to promote religious tolerance in the face of extremism?
Okay. I think for me, education is one of the most important tools.
Education.
I actually schooled in the West. Most of my tertiary education was done in the West. And if you are in the West, you find that there's this split, if not evenly split, between Muslims and Christians. And there are no rivalries. There are no confrontations, as it were. In fact, they behave as if they are brothers.
As it's ought to be.
And thank God what Mama said just now, that they say, are you a Muslim? I want to believe that because it's enlightened.
Yeah.
And that was what one of our presidents was trying to do when he was trying to build these Al-Majuri schools. People just give back to children without enlightenment and just tell them something and they pick it up. Somebody just rises up and lay an allegation against you without verification. The entire crowd picks it up and you are in trouble.
Yeah.
If you are not very careful, you are maimed, you are burnt.
Yeah.
I can have a dislike for you for a purpose that they may not know. All I need to do is to raise an alarm that you have blasphemed. Especially at the northwest and the northeast where these issues are rampant. And before you know, you are already a victim based on my own hatred for you. So I feel that if people are enlightened, if people are educated, you now have the mind to analyze what they are being taught. And when they can analyze, then the chances of picking the right thing will be very high.
Yeah.
If you want to deal with extremism, the easiest way is to allow people to be enlightened.
Yeah.
People should be educated.
Yeah. Okay.
Training is one aspect, either through regular school, secular school, and training at home. But that's very important because I believe that people learn more by observation.
Okay.
Over 60% of your constituent is by observation.
Observation, okay.
I remember when I was younger then, my dad used to have this wine that you put roots inside.
Okay,
You know,
dry
and,
gin.
what we call this root divider.
Yeah.
So he keeps it there.
Okay.
So he always takes it. I was young, very young boy. I was, look, what is this man drinking? So I'll go there. When he's not around, I'll just turn from it. Help myself. But one day he observed that the level is always fluctuating.
Yeah.
Okay.
He raised an alarm. Somebody is tampering with my... So I also develop wisdom. And whenever I take my shot, I add water. So, although he didn't want me to do that.
Okay.
But see, I was observing him and following him.
Yeah.
So the training is not just going to school.
Okay.
It also should be done at home because we also learn by observation.
Okay.
Yes.
Whatever you're telling me to do, let me see you do same.
So,
Yeah.
It helps me to follow.
so it's not just
So,
what I
yes.
say
Yeah.
and do what I say.
Do what I say and then do what I
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
It's not working.
All right.
People want you to be a man of your word, like we said earlier with Momo. I was doing same, trying to keep the time for this meeting because you're giving your word.
Yes.
That will say, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. You can't make promises and just break them.
Can't be
And tell me that promises are meant to be broken. It's unheard of. That's why when you go out campaigning and telling us what you would do, at the long run, say that's just political statement. You are not serious.
At all.
You see what's happening in the US.
Yeah.
He said this is what he would do. He's doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
They hold you by your word. Your word is your bond.
So
And
he's
we
not
must
just-
come to that
he's-
point.
He's not just talking the talk.
He's not talking the talk.
walk.
You must do the talk
Okay.
Yeah.
to validate what you have said. That makes you a man.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Now, Momo, he just brought us back to what we started with, talking about keeping your word. And
yeah,
I know you said that somehow we're going to, circle back to this part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Do you think people are doing enough to live by their words? Because we live in a generation where there's zero regard for promises. Someone says something and he just says it because he wants to say it, says it for saying sake. And then when it's time to put, action to those words, it's a different ballgame entirely. Do you think we still have regards for words, promises?
Yeah. In my time, I've worked with a lot of persons, both business and offline, just being friends. And even my friends, I try to instill that discipline on them. Okay. As a Muslim, we're taught that we'll be held accountable for our doings on the day of Qiyamah, that's the day of judgment. So Almighty Allah will be holding us accountable for our hands will be made to speak against us, our body will be able to tell this is how this person used me, this was your private would speak, this was how this person would testify against you. Okay. So if that alone is shown in the Quran and you see that we are going to be held accountable for what you say and what you do, not just what you say and what you do, things are going to talk against you on the day of judgment, body parts and all of that, even the trees, so it should be as a notion to you that I should be able to live by my words. Now, in our today world, 21st century, people do not really care anymore. People just say these things. People have lost value for trust or promises. They say things like that. I want to also tell us, just adding to what they said about trying to educate people in the home. We should also try our best how we can, tolerate ourselves as Muslims and Christians. Like he said, in school in the West, he had a mix of this. We should try our best to, have this conversation and see where our priorities or where we align on each other. I believe as Muslims and Christians, we agree that we shouldn't tell lies. So having a conversation and not trying to be confronted about it, trying to fight or trying to prove which is right or which is wrong. Like I said earlier, the most difficult man to convince is a convinced man. Yeah. You already have the Quran in Surah Al-Kafirun. He said, "Lakum dinukum waliyadin." Your religion is your religion. And my religion, for me, my religion is my religion, like indirectly saying, do you and I'll do me.
Respect.
Right, but then, you have to respect. As a Muslim, you have to respect. Even the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he was alive, he respected people from the other faith, the Christians. I think at one point, he allowed them to pray in the mosque. Even when a man walked into the mosque and urinated and he did not know what he was doing, which was actually bad. But people were trying to say they want to stone him and beat him and all of that. He allowed them to, no. Educate such person. persons see me and they say some bad words to me as a Muslim, I don't take it to heart. That's what they are expecting.
Okay.
They're expecting the retaliation that I'm going to do this. And when I don't give it to them, they are so confused. That's not what I expected you to do. But I thought you guys don't do this. I said, no, that's what you have always known.
Stereotype.
Stereotype from what the media must have told you or what you must have read about this. But then, I too was once like that. It may interest you guys, okay? In my journey to being the person I am today, I had an issue with, I was always confused in my religion. I didn't know what my religion was. You know, I only learned my religion from what I have read on the book, because I didn't go to, I went to a school that were taught CRK, okay, now CRS, Christian Religions Knowledge or whatever. Yeah, that was what we're taught. I didn't learn anything about it. Back home, my parents tried to teach me the Quran and all of that. So I learned, but then you need these teachings, like you guys have you have Sunday school or Bible study. Yeah. You need someone to actually teach you what this Bible say, right? So you need someone to also teach you what this Quran say. And we have certain persons like Kingsley said that already have this myopic belief about certain things about Islam and say, it's their view. They'll say, you must do it like this. If you don't do it like this, it is not. Even the Quran says that as a Muslim, you should not be extremist. It will interest you. Yes, it is. You shouldn't be extremist. You shouldn't be too far.
Some persons don't believe that. They believe that, you know, some of the things that these people do are, you know, born out of the standards that are set by the Holy Book.
The Holy Book, yeah. That's why I said I also wanted to be like them. Okay. But I read this book for myself. It's available there. Okay. One thing I would advise, don't take my word for it. Go and read the book for yourself. Read it, and there is a translated English text for you to read and see for yourself in there. So when I see people come and meet me and tell me, you should do this, I was like, no, that's not what it says. It said you should do it like this. I'm like, really? And I open the Quran and I tell them, even some of those so-called respected clerics, you know, when they do all of this, they tend to make you see it as, okay, when you not show them, they're like, oh, okay, he said so, but, you know, it can also be interpreted in this other way. Okay. Yeah, so we should encourage people to, you know, take time to self-study, read, educate yourself, mix with people, try to understand other people's religion and why they are doing this and why they're not doing this. Don't judge them for it. Try and have an understanding. Right. I think that will go a long way in, you know, tolerating people to, you know, to live with each other.
Momo was trying to, you know, lay a foundation for the roles that religions can play in terms of interfaith dialogue, you know, towards trying to address moral decadence in the society. There are certain points of convergence. There are certain points where religions meet as regards morality. For example, there are certain things that we agree upon. The issues of lying, for instance, and then stealing and all of that. Now, what role do you think religious leaders can play in terms of speaking with one voice to condemn certain moral vices? Kingsley.
All right, thank you. I want to say, let me just start from somewhere before I get to where you asking me to start from. I want to say that the first thing is that God, who we all revere, depending on how you see him or where you root your roots to him. When he made man, he gave man the right to make choice. Yeah. Although he told him you have everything, you shouldn't take from just this tree, whatever. But then he didn't compel man not to do what he did.
So he made man a free moral
man was free to make his choice.
Yes. Okay.
And he made his choice. And even in John, I think John 1:12, he says, as many as receive him. So the issue of, to them he gave power. If you come to him, he receives you. He's not going to bully you or to accept him.
To cajole you to do
so
things.
his divinity or God, who we revere, does not bully us to accept him. Why should I bully Momo, for instance, now, to become a Christian?
Just to add to that, it's even in the Quran, Surah Baqarah 2 verse 256 that says that there shall be no compulsion in religion. Is that the beginning, like the second chapter of the Quran when you're reading it? You know, if you are a Muslim and you read that part, that there shall be no compulsion in religion, and then you go ahead and start saying you must do this and all of that, right? You're transgressing against what the Quran says. But people tend to, you know,
just brush that.
The truth will also be there eventually.
Yeah. So the leaders should tell us the truth. Okay. If they are representing God like they claim, and if God is not compelling us to do otherwise, when they meet in their interfaith dialogue, they should also tell us that, see, you're going to face God at the end of the day. There's judgment. No. So whatever choice you make, you wait for the divine to pass his verdict eventually. You should go to analyze, I want to be on this side of the divide. Yeah. That's my decision. So whatever decision I've made, I should be responsible for the repercussions.
Repercussions, yeah.
The idea of you saying, because I probably left mine to come to yours, I'm an infidel, I shouldn't be spoken to. He said the dad is, I think, Muslim is a Muslim now, the dad is a Muslim, the other one is a Christian, and they are living together.
Yeah. My mom,
So the point here is that some of us have built concepts that are not even in the Bible or in the Quran.
That just suits man's
just to suit us. And like I said earlier,
I was actually getting there. Why do you think people have, established extra, what's the word now?
yes,
Religious
like I said earlier,
principles.
it is based on they want to remain relevant. Some want to use that medium to exploit. If I have followers who can't reason, Bible talks about the Berean Christians. After you finish preaching, they go back to their house, open the Bible to confirm what you have said, whether it's correct. We have passed the era of you having to go through so many mediums to access divinity. No, you can talk to you on one-on-one. You are his child. I say there's no grandchild in as far as I'm concerned. I'm not the grandchild of God. I'm his child. It doesn't matter whether I have a father. I was just rooted through him. He's a custodian.
Yeah.
God is our father. And since he's my father, like we all pray, our Father who art in heaven, he's my father, I should have direct access. So if you're telling me something that God told you to tell me to do, since he's my father, there should be a rapport. I should want to go back to him, either through his word that I study, or through direct conversation. He should want to tell me what this guy is telling me, is it correct?
Okay.
I should not just take your word for it and just start executing judgment. Like I said earlier, nobody in a country where there's law should be a persecutor and the judge at the same time. If you think I have erred against my brother Momo now, you should report me to the authority. You should take me to the appropriate court. I should be allowed to have my lawyer and defend myself in the court of law. Then if the judge is found me guilty, then I should face the music.
All right, thank you very much, Kingsley. Now, Momo, he talked about the need to go back and do your own research.
Yeah.
After being spoken to or after being taught in church or in mosque. But some persons may not feel the need to do that because to them, that might be a sign of unbelief. You've been told that this is the way it is. It's X, Y, Z. And then you're going back to check if what they've told you is true. So some persons might feel like they are sinning. They are transgressing by questioning what they've been taught in church, don't you think?
Well, for us Muslims, we don't feel that way.
Okay.
Even if an imam is giving a speech, which I'm going to do at the end of this also, at the end of every speech, he always say, for what I say that is not correct, may Allah forgive me, and for what I say that is correct, may Allah also use it as a beneficial to us. Because he may also, without him knowing, make a mistake. He may just add something that is not there. We call it salt and pepper in our local dialogue, Just add something that is not there, and that thing that you add, somebody is taking it seriously, and he has passed that to his own generation, all of that. Before you could even curtail that rumor, it has spread around for you. So it's always important. As Muslims, we are always taught that we should, query some of these teachings. Till date, I see somebody preach about something, I just go to my phone, I check the Quran, what the Quran says about it. So a person's interpretation may be wrong. I give an example. There's a popular one, not in Islam, in Christianity, the people say it's okay to drink alcohol. Some persons say, no, they say drink, I don't get drunk. I don't know the stance in it though. Okay. But some persons may want to say those just to suit whatever they are doing, their lifestyle. Not because they want to actually say the truth. To justify their lifestyle. So when you see people, even in Islam, you see people come around and tell you, we are to kill, that we have to kill somebody, blah, 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 and if he's not Christian, and I'll be like, we go to the Quran, it's there, but it is not there in that context. There's something before that, and there was something after that.
So it's a matter of interpretation.
The Quran is how you interpret it. It's a book that is telling itself. So you have to understand what it's saying. It's not talking about now. The same Quran said that you shouldn't kill as a human. Like you shouldn't even hurt, even animals. It's haram, it's sin. It's a sin to use hurt animals. Even when you are killing an animal, it always say you should do it painlessly. You shouldn't make your animals suffer. You are killing chicken now. You shouldn't just kill the chicken. There's a way you should kill it. That's the morals you're talking about. You said humans are free thinkers. Yeah, we are born to be free to make choices. But we have this religion to help us guide our choices. The same free thoughts that we may have, that some persons thought they have in the West, in America, that the new president now have brought normalcy to say, I am a human being and I think I'm not born in the right body. or I'm a human being and I think I should be like this. It's free choices that allowed that to happen. You know, people, so if you want, there's no, that's why I say that there's no way you cannot take, you will take morality out of religion. Because religion helps you to now shaping your mind to say, okay, no, even if we know that you can be thinking with shaitan, like the whispers of the devil telling you that this is how you're not supposed to be a man, you're supposed to be a woman. It's free thought, but that's morality.
I think that boils down to what I said earlier about freedom of thought.
Yeah, that's
because people tell you, oh, I am free to be whatever I want to be.
Yeah, regardless.
And he attributed it to a lack of control, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that as a Muslim, you have free thought, but it should be guided.
Okay.
So, yes, you are free to make whatever decisions you want to make, but with the repercussion of the account, could you be able to account for it? That's what should also come to the back of your head.
Okay.
So saying the truth at all times, being polite, even a smile is considered so nice, considered a gesture as a good thing to humanity. They said if you kill a man, it's as if you've killed humanity. The Quran. And it says if you save one man, it's as if you saved humanity. So where is he talk about that you killing somebody and you now tell yourself, I killed this person and this happens and all of that? I just laugh about that when I hear about it. So people just try to coin things however they want to coin it and just sell it out to people who are not properly educated. That's why it's encouraged to go back and do your own research.
Okay.
Like, don't just rely on what this person may say. He may just be doing that to exploit you politically, to just follow him, or exploit you because we know that we are Muslims and you're not going to betray me.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's very
all right. One question: what can be done to revamp the negative image, that has been created in the minds of skeptics by some religious adherents? Now, we know that, just like you people have said, there are some custodians of religion or even adherents of religion who are not living by the dictates of their religion, and what that has succeeded in creating in the minds of people is that they don't want to have anything to do with religion. Some will tell you that if that person is going to make heaven, then you can be rest assured that I am bound for heaven myself. So what do you think can be done to revamp that mentality? Someone
once told me when I was far younger, he was misbehaving, but he said something to me. He said, if you make heaven, he said he's going to hell. I shouldn't bother about him. He won't even wait for judgment. He will just walk in. So, but if he sees me in heaven, he will come out from hell and say, there is Pasha.
He's sure for all. So
when he said that, I had to go home and start thinking about my life.
Your life.
Okay.
It means I was not an example. There were things that he saw in me that made him to make such assertion.
You interpreted it in a way.
But I really had to sit down and really check myself again. If this guy says he has confirmed his own destination,
so it made
he also determined mine too.
So it made you do some soul searching.
Yes, soul searching. I think people should be given position based on merit. You hear someone say is this, or maybe he's a leader, maybe in Islam or a leader in the church, and some of these things are done. There are few things that are killing us in this country: ethnicity and religion. For me, as we sit here in Edo State, I want to say this very bluntly.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind the Fulani man as the Edo State governor if it makes life better for all of us.
Okay. As it should be.
But we say, no, he's a non-indigenous. How can he come and govern us? Is it his indigenship that should concern you, or what he brings to the table?
We prioritize ethnicity
over competence.
Character.
I heard Trump saying that we're going to reward people not on the color of their skin, but by their content.
Okay.
If you have something to deliver, and we know you have the stuff, we should give you the position. Irrespective of whether you're Muslim or a Christian.
Okay.
What is the use of my brother being the governor and he makes my life more miserable? That's my own personal opinion. People should be rewarded for merit. Merit should be the hallmark for assigning position. So when you say title, this person being a model or whatever, and you're giving him so many portfolio that he cannot defend, then I will not see that person misbehaving. It now becomes a bad lesson for me.
Or the person may even be pressured by this title.
Because he's not competent to hold those offices. Then he now becomes a bad example. Those who should be learning, looking at him as a model, are discouraged. And they start living, if this one's like this, then what are you telling me to do that? No. I'm better than this, even morally. So we must begin to reward people, strictly on merit. If they are good for it, give it to them. When we start doing that, people will respect each other, irrespective of which tribe or which religion you profess. Like you said, there are some things that are common to us. Don't steal. I have an accountant, he's a Muslim. He doesn't steal. He's upright. He has integrity. And I say, no, I must put a Christian there, who I know that he's just carrying the title. He doesn't even know the God he's talking about. And he steals very well, but he says he's a Christian. Then I should put him there because he has that title.
You're lying to yourself.
They're not cover my business.
Yeah.
So I should look at him from, does he have integrity? That's the first thing. Because there are many in the scripture. There was a man in Acts, let me just quickly say this, called Cornelius. He wasn't really a Christian, he wasn't born again by our assertion. But he was so good, I would say his giving came to God as a memorial. God had to orchestrate his salvation. Because the man was good.
So his lifestyle
was So such a person, you could even call him a Christian. But we have our own But then God himself saw that this man can't just go to hell. He's good. I want him saved. And made a kind of drama that brought him salvation. So the point is that man, although an unbeliever, although an infidel, by our interpretation at that time, not in the eyes of God. God felt that this man should get something better. So we should reward people for their qualities, not necessarily by their tribes or by their religion. If God could, for one man's sake, orchestrate a drama, I think that if we do well, God will do the same for us. That's my own best personal opinion.
I think I share that opinion myself, because I feel like a society where meritocracy is the order of the day would encourage people to improve and to do better, rather than using peripheral and irrelevant indices to reward people or give them responsibilities. Now, Momo, what's your thought on this?
On that, yes, just to add to that, I think for us to revamp people in trying to understand this whole thing I was talking about, is that one of the ways we can do that is to also encourage. I want to talk about Muslims. We should try our best to also understand, like I said earlier, understand the religion of other people, just as it ought to be. We should also try our best to come outside and speak against these leaders. If you're Islamic leader per se, you should come out to speak against when you see certain things that are going wrong in the society and people are saying this. But then this is it's a catch. Would you want to listen to a program where you see a man dressed in his own attire and I said, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillah"? You'd be like, okay, I'm changing this channel. So as a non-believer, or you don't believe in Islam, you should also try to just listen to what this person has to say. Now, there's something that we should also learn to tolerate each other.
Religious tolerance.
We don't have it in this our city. Like what I always observe is, I'll be in the bus, I'll be coming down, and somebody just say, "Praise God. I don't know if you should close your eyes now," and I'm not a Christian, and I want to respect what you're saying. So I just, instead of just closing my eyes, I just bow my head. Oh God, close your eyes. He doesn't know if I'm a Christian or not. But then this can also, if it is done in a different place, they'll say, you're trying to Islamize this. We should have that thought removed from our head. People are going to be, it's where the majority is. So I am in a state where I know that majority of people here are Christians. I should be able to live with these people and understand that they're doing their thing. You have a church blasting praises and worship on Sunday in my window and everything. I shouldn't go about and ask because if the person is doing this thing, and early in the morning I also come out and I call my adhan, I say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I may also be disturbing and say human being. So we should learn to tolerate ourselves. It's just for a short period of time. And us Muslims or Christians, we shouldn't overdo these things. Because we should also understand that these people, even if you're even doing it, sometimes you're doing it in a way it's a Muslim organization, it's even somehow people consider to be a beg, you should overdo. So we should learn to put it, like I said, it shouldn't be extreme, it shouldn't be too low, we should just try to maintain the middle line, so that you don't go as far as annoying somebody without you knowing, but then you cannot really please everybody. So we should be relaxed in our own, the tension should come down. If you see a Muslim or you see a Christian or you are a Muslim, try to interact with that person, removing the religion aside. People tell me that as a Muslim, I'm scared to talk to you because I feel that one day you're going to kill me. And I'm like, where did you get the thoughts from? They bring this word out to say Islamophobia. I don't know how the West media just brought this whole thing to make you just so scared about this religion and scared. I don't know why they're doing that. Promoting fear.
I think it all boils down to the misinformation that he made mention of.
Yeah, the misinformation, and sometimes, like you said, people, saying, okay, this will work for people's mind. Let us call this terrorist group this name, and let them do this. Impersonating people, and sometimes it may not be impersonation. Certain people just coming around having a very, I don't want to call it, I don't want to use false word, having a weird ideology, and now saying that, like, take a look at the Boko Haram, for example. Let me just quickly drop this here. When they came in initially, they said, we are coming to fight Western education. Is that what they're still doing now?
Not at all.
That tells you that this is not a religious thing. somehow is different. I don't
So
want
the
to
whole
mention it.
Western education thing was just a smokescreen.
Because as you need this education, even in Islam, you are encouraged to learn.
Okay.
You should be learn about certain things. Don't just be there and say, no, these are I know and I know which. You are encouraged to learn. Without this Western education, there will be no medium for me to pass this message or we to talk and sit down here right here. So take the sense out of the nonsense and just see it as and use what you want to use. Rather than just saying you are discarding the whole thing. You'll be left and people will move further from you. The issue of cryptocurrency came one time and I was asking my Amir to say, what is Islamic view about this? Because I want to know if it is halal or if it's an haram thing to do. And they were like, okay, we are still trying to understand this, if it is this, because gambling is not allowed, and certain things in terms of, they call it riba, interest is not also allowed in this sense, but it's haram in Islam. So I was, in my own, trying to be very safe. So try to learn about these things and see how you can channel it to your own religion. If it doesn't work for you and you don't know anything about it, leave it.
Okay.
But
so
then
what you're saying in a nutshell is to be open-minded.
Be open-minded whilst you are being steadfast in your religion. Try your best to, if possible, Muslim community should organize charity and, go to homes that are, whether it's a Christian, it's a human being, like I said. If you save one life, it's as though you saved humanity. So we are all from the same maker, regardless of the color of your skin or what you practice. We all agree that we are from the same creator. So if you agree you are from the same creator, you're not pleasing that human being itself. But you're pleasing your creator. I come on and I give you this token of something and you think you'll be doing dobale for me. No, I'm not doing that for you. In my own, I am doing that for my creator, for him to see me. I don't want anybody to even see that I did something to you. It's just between me, you, and my creator. That is how we should behave. And that's how
thank you very much, Momo. I actually do wish we had more time. Now, take that to be your final word on this. Now, Kingsley, what's your final advice for people who are extreme? Because I think what he has said so far is it's geared towards religious extremism. The fact that some persons are just so dogmatic and they are not open-minded. So what's your advice in that regard?
Well, like I said earlier, we should make provisions for people to be well educated initially. And secondly, the religion you practice, you must understand what you're practicing. You're dealing with a divine being who, like I said, supposing is your father, you should find a way to interface with him. There was a thing that I saw some time ago, was a pastor asking people to eat grass. And you tell me that is a pastor.
A lot of weird things we see.
Weird things that we see. And somebody is eating the grass.
I'm sorry, because
of trying not to offend the instruction from the shepherd.
Because of education, I understood that is not what Christian is. Because I understand.
Because you are enlightened
to an extent. So I would not say these are what Christians
that is Christianity.
So it happens the same way with Muslims. Say these are what Muslims we call one person thing.
I think what is key is that enlightenment. People should be, like you said, if this medium were not available, we would not be here reaching out to people.
True.
It's available and it's technology.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we must begin to understand the times and relate the times with what we have been taught, either through the Bible or through the Quran. And come out with a front that allows us to live peaceably. Even that in the Bible also, I think Romans chapter 12, it said, as much as it light in thy power, it said, live peaceably. Or peaceably with everybody. In other words, you are not encouraged to hate somebody because of what he or she believes. You don't have that power. You're not allowed to judge. It says, judge not that you may not be judged. You don't have the power. You're not the God. You're not his creator. You're the one that died for him. So whatever he's doing, the best you can do is to cancel. Even if you don't do that, you must do it in love. The part of the scripture says that those of you who are supposedly spiritual, when you want to correct someone who you think is carnal, do it in love, unless you yourself become a victim of what you are trying to correct.
All right, thank you very much, Kingsley. Like I said, I wish we had more time. Time is fast spent. We have to go. But of course, we'll be doing this again next week. I want to say a big thank you to you, gentlemen, for taking time to do this with me today.
Thank you for
having me. Hopefully, the next time I call upon you, you would do me the honor of being here. All right, it's been Flipside on Independent Television, and we've been taking a look at religion and morality in the 21st century. I want to say a big thank you to you out there for being a part of the show today. Now, like I always say, it's not just enough to tell people what to do. Lead by example. In fact, people will learn more from what you do than what you say. So don't just be the type that tells people to do stuff. Be someone that lives by example. And that's the first rule. In fact, you are like the mirror that the world sees. So if you are not living by example, then you are a hypocrite, just like I said last week. My name is Harry Igboje, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, this is me saying, do the right thing and stay out of trouble. Bye for now.